Hey folks, your OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look and quick review of the Helix Shopping custom wraps and decals. The ones that you have in front of you are for the Galaxy S3 and for an iPhone 4S. These are for older devices, but which they still manufacture if you're looking for it, but they also make it for newer phones as well, such as the HTC 10, the newer iPhone 6S. They also produce these wraps for tablets as well as popular laptops, and they sell for about $10 a piece, so for one wrap. You can also go up to roughly $20 if you get it for a laptop or pick a more fancier design. These are custom wraps, so they will rival designs perhaps created by Slickwraps and other such companies currently on the market. Otherwise, they are based in the UK, so if you are living in the US, it takes slightly more time to reach. For us, it took roughly 2 weeks in terms of just picking the economy standard shipping, so that's something to quickly note. Also, the packaging itself isn't anything too extraordinary. It just came in this wrap with the 2 sheets, and it came in an envelope that says "Fragile, don't bend" on the very front, and that's basically it. So there isn't really a commercial packaging, just as a side note, if you are planning to give this as a gift. But otherwise, we picked these kind of standard carbon fiber looks just for 2 devices that we had on hand to quickly show you the process of applying it and whether or not we would recommend it after just giving a brief hands-on impressions of that. So we're just going to go with the Galaxy S3, I guess, today, but you can see that there is another variant for the iPhone, and interestingly enough, if you get an iPhone wrap, it seems like it also includes a sticker for the Apple logo, which is kind of interesting. This is, of course, probably not meant for the actual phone, but you can put it on, let's say, a laptop, on a wall, or something as decoration, because there are cutouts for the logos. Just pop them out after you peel the stickers out, so something to quickly note. The Galaxy S3 one is much more simple, but again, the price point is about the same. The back just features some info about the actual tape that they're using here, so it's not something like 3M, it looks like, more of a smaller company, and we just peel this off and start going. So it looks like this is all one piece, including the sides, which I kind of prefer. I think it's going to be easier for demonstration purposes. One thing I am going to say ahead of time is for wraps in general, it kind of goes against or clashes with screen protectors sometimes and cases sometimes, so I would be a little bit careful if you're considering to purchase one. Perhaps consider just getting a wrap to replace, let's say, a case permanently. So make sure you pick the design that you want, and you'll be satisfied with it for, let's say, the years or months to come. So if you have a screen protector already on there, I have one on here. I'm not going to try removing it right now, but just note that it might be not 100% in terms of the fit because of this cutout. There isn't a screen protector pre-installed, and maybe the sense of using the phone might degrade slightly just because, the cutout has a slight elevation change to it, whereas the sides pops out, and then of course the screen is down below, so you can kind of feel the border if you're running your finger across the screen. It's not as smooth or instantaneous, as flat as it once was, so that's something to quickly note. Obviously, it protects your device against scratches or scruffs or anything like that, and tighter cases might have a slight issue after you add this rather thick layer of skin. So those are some warnings ahead of time. So the first step, obviously, is to clean down your product, perhaps in a warm environment, like in a bathroom. If you turn on the hot water, that gets rid of a lot of dust and makes the process of cleaning a little bit easier. Wipe it down with a alcohol wipe, and you should be ready to go. We've already done that. And next, we're just going to apply this. It looks like there's not really an alignment tool per se, but we're just going to try and put this on. So a quick jump cut, I applied the skins actually onto both the iPhone 4S as well as the Galaxy S3 to give you guys a brief look at what the finished result is like, and I would say that applying each individual phone took me roughly 5 minutes to complete, so it definitely takes a slight amount of time, and it takes a bit of patience, and the actual tape being used here is sticky enough so that even if you don't align it perfectly the first time, which will happen especially on larger devices, since essentially you're just putting on the bezels, which are quite thin, and they tend to move around a little bit, so it takes a few times for you to reposition it and then do it carefully in order for the end product to look quite nice. Some things I've noticed though is sometimes when you're peeling off the individual part from the tape, there are pieces that might not come off the first time, so you kind of have to use your nails to take those little parts off, such as the cutouts specifically for things like the camera, or maybe the speakers, or especially those smaller parts tend to want to stick even though they've been cut out already, so you have to take that out before you apply it. Otherwise, the back, you can see the finished result looks pretty nice. Same thing with the iPhone version. They are rather precise, and they have a very clean overall presentation to it. Indeed, looks like carbon fiber, and I guess this is a cool overall look if you are a fan of this particular design. It kind of is the same texture and finish as maybe some phones designed with Motorola, such as the Droid series. I know that some of their designs, and here's another one, the Atrix 4G, if you guys remember, also had that similar texture on the back, but that's built in, whereas this is a skin. So it creates a pretty uniform and nice feeling device in the hand when you're using it as well, because it adds a texture, so it makes the phone a bit easier to grip. Again, it is very precise, so if you're looking at it from the sides, you can notice how the cutouts, they curve just like the phone's battery door does, so it seems like it's built right on in by the manufacturer as opposed to just a sticker. And I've noticed that after I've applied it for, let's say, a few hours, it doesn't seem like any of the corners are lifting up, which is certainly good. The Galaxy S3 version isn't perfect in the sense that some corners are still left revealed, as you can see, just to make the taping process a bit more cohesive and easy, but otherwise it seems to work well. It doesn't really distract from the performance in terms of the camera or anything like that. All the buttons and keys are still usable, and you can see how you can still have access to the capacitive controls down below as well. They're cut out and rather precise, but as aforementioned, it does create a leveling effect where the screen is now below the border, so if you're swiping a lot or creating a lot of different gestures, it doesn't feel as natural or smooth as before, but that's the same complaint that we have with basically any skin or wrap that you place on a phone. The iPhone version, same thing really. You can see that it's rather precise. It creates a nice textured effect. This one has a lot more individual parts that you have to put on from the sides to the top, so it takes a bit more time to apply, but even though the surface area is technically not as large as a bigger phone. And overall, the effect is also quite attractive and eye-catching. There's also cutouts for the home key, which you can optionally apply, which we did here. So overall, I would say that the Helix Shopping decals and wraps for devices is definitely something you should check out if you're looking for a quality wrap. It's rather precise. It doesn't seem to fall off very easily. You can repeal it and realign it, and the sticker is still rather cohesive after you've done that for a few times. So overall, they look nice and they perform well. Just don't expect perfect, I guess, application every time. It takes a bit of time, and also the packaging itself is a rather generic look as opposed to something more commercially polished. But those little gripes aside, I think this is a great wrap that is competitive, and you should check out if you're looking for something that offers a lot of style but also doesn't really break the bank. You can check out more information about these in our full written review, as well as more info in the links down below in the description box. This has been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.